Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Wild Woman Podcast. I have a lovely guest from down under with me today, but she's not down under today. She's in Galway, near me on the west coast of Ireland, and I came to know Nadine, who I will introduce shortly, or I'm in the process of introducing, a few years back, probably around the time of 2020. And I suppose it was an online meeting, like many of us, lovely communities building up. But I think what always struck me from the very first interaction, firstly, is how authentic she is. And I'm all about authenticity, and it's taught me so much. And I'm also about health, and I'm also about sovereignty and choice. And I suppose there was sort of a common sense of, let's say, purpose around that and like-mindedness, which I think has been really important. And in getting to know her, I suppose, over the last few years, what has been lovely, she has introduced me to more natural ways of living. She has a very low tox approach to life, which we're going to get into. And she doesn't just speak it, she lives it, she breathes it, she shares it. And that to me is if people talk about new earth, to me, it's just us here every day living in a way that's very authentically and sharing from the heart and realizing we're all just one big happy humanity, not even always happy, but one big humanity doing our best to support and grow together. And I think it might have been you, Nadine, who said it, or other people. And I love it is the rising tide lifts all boats. And I think that's so important. I've experienced that in my own life, no competition. It's about community and we do this together. So this is what's really, I'm so grateful for Nadine coming into my life. And I call her a friend now because she really is such a beautiful, beautiful person. And so I will introduce Nadine Guckian. Welcome from Align Oils and other things, which we'll get into. So lovely to have you here today.
Thank you, Celine. Thank you so much for a lovely introduction there. Like, it was very
Oh,
heartwarming. Thank you so much. Yeah, ditto right back at you.
yeah, thank you. No, it's so lovely. And what I'd love to just start with is firstly, what brought you to Ireland
Yeah, okay.
from down under?
Well, I think there's a really big calling for me to be here, and I'm still in the process of that, unraveling and unfolding itself beautifully, I may add. But I married an Irishman who was living in Sydney at the time. I think he'd only been there for 18 months, maybe. And I knew that I wanted to get married at that age. I think I was 36 and he was 38 or something. We just got into that point in our lives and then we met. And, I think we were literally engaged within 9 months' time. And then, within 2 years, we were married and had our first child, our daughter. And then we had two more boys. And then we were not two more boys, two boys, and then we realised that Sydney was just a bit too much. It was just getting too busy. And then we came back here to Ireland in Roscommon, where he's from, for a summer holiday, and it was just perfect, lovely weather. And we were like, and I think in the midst of it, I was working a corporate job. I was completely exhausted. Three babies under the age of 5. I think actually 4 at that time, and I think I just was, exhausted and just out of my mind. And I think Park said to me, maybe we should move to Ireland. And I probably said, oh, yeah, sure. The next minute, he was organising us moving to Ireland. So there was no way, if you'd asked me on the way over on the flight if we were moving to Ireland, I would have said, no, 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 not for me. Australia is my home. But on the way back, we were planning to move here. And then within a couple of months we'd sold the house. 6 months we moved here, and here we are. But I do know, as I mentioned, I'm here for a bigger reason, and I feel like I've been brought to Ireland like a seed, just and planted
Mm.
in this country, and have been able to grow since then. I was definitely stunted living in Australia, but I'm definitely been able to grow here. That's for sure,
That's
in
so
all kinds of ways
beautiful.
that I would never been able to before. So maybe my life wouldn't what I wouldn't feel like I do now if I was living in Australia. So I do think Ireland is such a huge gift for me,
That's
despite
so
the
beautiful.
bad weather.
Yeah.
It's been such a beautiful gift for me. So my grandfather was actually Irish. but I never got to meet him. It was a very disruptive relationship back then. With it was a bit of a messy, so I never got to meet him. But he's a Cosgrove, and so I feel like maybe I'm here to close that circle or to heal whatever's going on. So yeah, so there's
Wow.
lots happening there, lots
That's
to
so
unpack.
interesting. Yeah, because I would have, when I met you first, I felt, and it's probably all of what you've said and more, is that you were here as well to bring something special to the country and to plant it. Like, yes, you are the seed, but I'm noticing that with a lot of different people who've ended up here or moving. It's like for whatever is happening now in the world, and all the shifts and changes, people are being moved to where their role is best suited. And like you said, also to grow. So it's like it's both, isn't it? It's that's
Yeah,
what it
I think
feels
so.
like.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it is. Maybe I'm just not able to see. Like I hear it all the time. I get messages from people. I got a message from somebody yesterday saying to me, "Oh, this is so you," and it was a an Australian lady talking about being a cheerleader, being a supporter of women, and I was like, she had this reel that this person sent me was an Australian accent. And I was like, oh, maybe you're just seeing me, because of the Aussie accent. She was like, no, you're such a champion for everybody. You cheer everybody on. And I'm like, yeah, I never am in competition with anybody. I never think, I'm never envious. I'm always like, yes, go girl. Like, not just girl, men, women, children, animal, everybody. So, and I responded to my friend, like, I was just crying because I was like, that's such a lovely thing to say. Like, thank you so much for saying that to me. So this living here is doing two things. Maybe I am bringing, light and love to Ireland here, or whatever I'm bringing. I'm not quite sure exactly, but I know that there is another purpose here for me to grow and become the person that I'm meant to be, and to return to Nadine or return home, which is what we're
Mm,
all doing right now, hey?
it is all. We're all just, as I think Ram Dass said, we're all just walking each other home.
Yeah.
I nearly want to cry when I say that. It's because it's
Ah,
so, so beautiful, though. I think once you keep that always in your heart, nearly, with everything that goes on, that is, if that's there, that's sort of can be your guiding light. But that's so beautiful about what she said about you. And it's so true. If I was to put words, I couldn't even recently I was trying to, and I'm not saying this to be all like, I mean it genuinely, this idea of cheerleading other people on. I don't think it's something naturally that has come to us in Ireland. Maybe because I know every country has had its challenges, but I suppose maybe, I don't know, poverty and famine and this, and, growing up in that way that we have to struggle and compete to make an earning, to make a living and to survive. And we can see the cost of that with, we'll get into, illness and different things that people are, and it isn't the way, like and I know we're going to talk all about this. It's nature's way. Nature's way is not competition, isn't it not? I mean, if there's anything else, and so I think I just feel that in my heart now, as I say, that's a big part of what you're bringing here. And maybe it's the memory, and maybe that's some way connected back with your bloodline and your grandfather. There is something there. I know I can nearly get the shivers when I'm saying it. There's something beautiful. Do you know much about where your grandfather's from, or that line, or
no, I've
of?
heard bits and pieces that maybe he was. I've heard so many different stories. One of them was that he was put on a boat with his adopted parents from Baltimore Cork and moved to Australia. But then when I spoke to my cousin recently, he was like, "No, that story's not true at all." So because I never got to know him. We never got. It was a messy relationship, so we never got to find
Mm,
anything out. But I wish
okay.
I knew. I wish I knew
Yeah.
what happened, because that would just answer so many questions for us, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
So
any Cosgroves out there listening in Ireland, reach out.
yeah.
You don't know though. Well, my sense is when the time is right, and if you need to know that, something will show up to show you. But there's no doubt, there's no doubt in my mind that that's what you're here to do, because I can just feel it from you, and it's so beautiful. So just in terms then of coming to Ireland, and I know you're into all low tox living and the oils and natural living, and it just oozes out of you so authentically. That's why I have to say I'm also so taken, and that's why we'll talk about it later with the doTerra oils. But that's why I felt such a strong connection to coming on and using them, but also being part of a team in a way that is not competitive. It is about, and I think it's a really important to talk about that, because I think it's often felt there's this sort of, oh, I can't be whatever, I don't know, selling something, or there's a sort of a discomfort that can come. But what all I'm experiencing is this beautiful community of like-minded people who want to live a natural, low tox, healthy life. So can you talk about why that has become so important to you? Like where were you that, this suddenly became, or not suddenly, but became so important to you? Was
As
it
in the
before
community?
Ireland? Yeah, well, even,
Would you?
sorry, we'll go back to maybe just the natural way of
Oh
life
yeah.
and all of that. How did that all start for you?
I think that just started by living in Australia back in, I was born in the early 70s, and, we were in suburbia, but, you just were never inside as a kid. You were always outside. You didn't come home till the street lights came on, which I'm sure maybe happened here in Ireland. I don't know. But we were just outside all the time, and we have so much wildlife around us all the time. The bird, you hear it all the time. And I guess, yeah, just I live near bush, so we were always in the bush. We'd see snakes and all kinds of things when we were out. So I guess nature, going to the beach and being outside and looking at the clouds. Like, I guess, maybe not everybody was into that, but definitely I love being around nature. And I think because maybe my home was kind of very disruptive and unsatisfying for me, it was my great, looking back, it was an escapism. It was like, oh, I get to look at all this beauty around me. And nature is so
Mm.
slow and so patient and so kind and nasty and all kinds of things. But in my home was not a happy place. So it was a great place for me just to get away from it all, whether I was with my friend or on my own or just staring out the window or whatever. So I've always had a love for nature, and I've always loved animals. So anything to do with nature,
Mm.
yourself when you go for a walk, in the woods, or like the trees communicate with you, and it's not, they don't speak to you. They don't say, hey, Nadine, how you going? It's all, the intelligence of our bodies with them that communicate with each other. They know what to do. Like, what did I hear recently is that even when you hear birds singing, that signals to the, what's the reptilian brain, I guess, that it's safe.
Mm.
Because if
The
there's
amygdala.
birds
Is that the
around,
amygdala?
yeah, maybe, yeah, I'm
I
not,
think.
I'm
I'm
not
not
very good on
sure.
that
Maybe
stuff.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay. But yeah.
But I think, yeah,
Not that I need to know.
it's funny, isn't it? But so I think it's like the birds signal to our brain and to our bodies that it's safe, because if there's birds singing, that means that they're not threatened. There's no threats around. So when when you're
Mm.
hearing birds yourself, that's why it sounds so good. Like
Mm.
if you got no, if you haven't got the TV on or the radio on, you hear the birds, and if you actually just listen to them, it's the most amazing sound. And they're all communicating with the trees and the plants and all kinds of stuff. So there's so much there that we don't know about, and we should.
Yeah.
No, I don't know it all either. It's just bits that I pick up. But it's just so beautiful when you unplug from all the illusion of the TV and the radio and all that stuff, which is
Yeah.
all great and dandy if you're into it. But there's so much more available out there to us.
Yeah.
That,
But like, doesn't your body tell you, like what you're describing there to me is the same thing I discovered post cancer. Like it took me a long time. I probably, where you were, I was a bit like that as a child and then got caught, just lost on the hamster wheel. But that discovery, and anyone I've met who's been through challenging times will nearly always, particularly as a child, will always mention nature in some way as being what kept them going through it. Like, even if, as you said, it was to look out a window or to go out and just be beside animals, or yeah, that knowing, as you said, that
yeah,
knowing that everything is genuinely okay. Like,
yeah,
if you understand, as you said, the intelligence, even if you don't know what it is, isn't it? There's
yeah,
something in your body that responds. Like if you walk into a forest, doesn't your body just
yeah.
um
Relaxes. Yeah, and just lets
yeah.
it all go. Like even if you don't even understand what's going on within your cells, like if I know if I'm not feeling good within myself or I just feel a bit off, if I go for a walk in the woods, during that hour I don't even know what's going on. But once I get in the car to go home, I'm like, yeah, I feel really good. So there's definitely something going on. And we're not taught about it really in school, or you really have to find the right book and find that information out yourself. So it is, yeah, it's even, I remember as a kid, even if things weren't going good in my home, I got on my bike and just rode, and the wind just feeling, on my skin or my hair. And at the time, I didn't really understand any of that, but it just felt good.
Yeah.
And so I did it. If it feels good, go do it.
Yeah, exactly. And your body
Not
knows.
hurting anyone. It feels really good. So yeah, so that's I was just we had a pool, which is most Aussie kids do. You have a pool in the backyard. So just getting in the pool and having a swim, that felt good too. I didn't really understand what was going on, but it felt really good. So why
Some
not?
part of you. Yeah. So then as you grew up, was there always that sort of, you said you got into the corporate world, so obviously you went, I call it the hamster wheel. It's not a criticism. We all, everybody does their best to make a living and everything, but just did that sort of natural life or world stay with you? Like, was there always an interest in natural products, or how did
Yeah.
how
No,
did
not
that
at all.
go?
Not at all. The illusion is too
Like
powerful.
most of us, I know. Well, you
Yes.
have to forget, isn't it? They say it's called the veil of illusion or the veil of amnesia, and you can't appreciate
Yeah.
something until maybe you haven't got it. Like, that's the whole life of duality here. You have to want to, experience the other. So sometimes you do need to go, don't you, on the far side with the
Yeah.
pendulum to sort of come back into balance. So yeah, so where did that take you then, or
Yeah.
where did you go?
Exactly.
Mm.
And, well, I guess I just got, steered into doing everything that the illusion supports, or that maybe my parents told me to do, or voices or everyone around me was telling me to do. So you just lose connection because you're a teenager, you're a young adult, you don't really know what's going on. You're getting all these things thrown at you in life. So I think, I even was shopping a lot. Like, even the shopping addiction for myself was huge. And that's still a little bit in me now. But it's just a comfort thing, like, to buy. I was like filling the hole in my soul of just buying stuff, buying new, stuff, new outfit or whatever, because I always wanted to look good and feel good because I wasn't feeling good within me. So that was pretty strong. But even when I moved out of home, I had to move near the water, which, living in Sydney near the water is expensive, but it was definitely, I grew up out west in the country kind of thing, not country, but in suburbia kind of thing. So I love living near the water, even though I didn't know, that I needed to live near the water, because, even when you look at a body of water, it just brings you calm as well. So it was within me, but it was tiny, but it just didn't have the chance to grow and grow and grow. It was just being pushed down and pushed down by corporate world and life and, materialism and friends and boyfriends and all that kind of stuff. So definitely life did get pretty messy, but it took a long while until I was able to kind of slow down and kind of connect with myself. And I don't think that really even happened until I moved here. And then, because we're living, in the country kind of here, but, we're not far from Galway City, but we're still in the country. And then I have all these nature and animals all around me. So it was just that was really just thrusted back at me of how important it is to get out in nature. And, like, I guess in Ireland, you see people walking all the time. And I remember when I moved here, I was like, Park, why does everyone walk? Where's everyone walking to? Like, what's going on? Because in Australia, you wouldn't
You
walk.
don't do that.
You walk maybe 7:30 in the morning. No, we don't do that.
Do you do?
But we do maybe.
Funny.
Like, I remember it's like 7:30 in the morning. I would take my daughter Maeve when she was a baby for a walk because it was so hot. You couldn't get out there. We have to watch the sun or a sunburn, or it was just so hot to have a baby out there. And do you know what I mean? And now I was working, so you just didn't do that. So I was like, why is everyone walking? And here I am walking all the time now. I walk like everybody else does.
Well,
But we do
and then
it
the
for
running.
our
For the
Saturday
running.
night.
Yeah. Yeah, the running
Everyone
was the
runs
next
now
thing.
too, which is great.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But that was never here. Sorry, there's a little delay. Sorry for anyone listening. There might be a little time delay, so I'm just going to leave a little bit of gap between, and because I feel like I'm interrupting you. No, sorry.
You're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So so you could feel that when you came back here. So was there anything in particular that then, what sort of triggered this dive into the oils and low tox living, and how did that come about? Did something happen that, or I know you've talked before and share whatever you do or don't want to share, just in yourself, maybe the stress or something. Was there anything in particular that nudged you towards, I need to live differently or do something different,
Well, I
apart from
think when
being
I
in
moved,
nature?
okay, so when I moved here, obviously, I just thought I've just got to, like, I'm a long way away from home. I have to make the most of this. And so I just thrusted myself out there to everybody and everybody. And me being me, I have my heart on my hand all the time. Like, I'm just open, and that's how that's that's can be a bit of a problem for a while there, because you're just giving yourself to everybody, and some people can kind of, they know that you're one of those people, so you have to mind yourself. And me just being so naive sometimes and just so open, I just gave myself to everybody, and then I kind of learnt that I shouldn't have really done that, but because I was so far away from home, I really felt I needed to just survive here. And I know, like, it's a completely different lifestyle than Australia. It's really one end of the scale, completely
Is it?
opposite. Yeah, because we're so
In what
outdoor.
way?
We're just
Okay.
outdoors all the time. It's very indoor here. It's just sunny and gorgeous and warm all the time in Australia. And we have winter maybe for 8 weeks. Maybe 2 weeks we have 2 degrees or something like that, but that's it. So you're outdoors a lot. So you're always outside, and you're always, barbecuing, or you're at the beach, or you're definitely not walking, but you're always just, you're always just, it's a completely different lifestyle, I think. So inside, and the weather does really, I try not to attach myself to the weather. If it's a bad day, it's just a bad day. But in Australia, you can say, well, do you want to go to the beach today? No, we'll go next week, or we'll go next month. But here it's like you have to just drop everything and make the most of it. Do you know what I mean? So it's a completely different lifestyle in that regard. And I guess Australians are the ones that I know are very just open and out there. And we're just, it's just very different than here. I find that Irish people are a little bit guarded, and it's hard to understand what everybody says, because in Australia, we just say it as it is. Like, we're very real. It's very flat. It's just telling you exactly, but it doesn't get taken in a bad way, like, because everybody knows what you mean.
Yeah.
But in Ireland, I find that everyone takes the long path to get to what they want to tell you. So for me, that was a big struggle.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a really big struggle. And even today, like, even now, people go, "Oh yes, she's Australian, that's right." And I just say what I say, and I never mean to harm anyone. It's just the way it comes out. I just tell it like it is. I'm not your average person. Do you know what I mean? So that was a big struggle. So when I moved here, and it was a good year or so in, I started to suffer, like, my mental health definitely suffered. I wasn't feeling very good. I wasn't around my people. I wasn't feeling comfortable. I had still 3 small children. My family wasn't here. My friends weren't here. I didn't know who I could be friendly with. And it was just it was a big struggle. So I ended up going to doctors and said, look, I'm just not coping. I think I need some help. And my first option was, I need some medication. So I got some medication straight away, and which was a bit upsetting that no one even said, maybe you should chat with somebody first. So I was given medication, and within that, first couple of weeks taking that medication, I just didn't feel good at all. I felt really weird, like the ground would move. It was very disturbing, the things that were happening. And when I spoke to the doctor, they were like, that's fine. It just takes time to settle in. And I was like, I'm feeling 100 times worse than I was feeling before. Like, I feel really, really bad. Like, everything just, I don't feel safe. I don't feel good within myself. And then I ended up even cracking teeth, because I was grinding my jaw in my sleep. And then I'd wake up and I'd have broken teeth, and I'd be like, Jesus.
Oh my God.
So I just said, right, I can't do this anymore. So I just, looked up line and tried different ways to work out how to look after myself, and, being in nature, and that was just such a great support to me, going in the water, or get my feet, on the earth, and getting in the woods and all kinds of stuff. But I still wasn't feeling great. So I ended up, one of my friends suggested, because everyone knows me as this nature kind of person, suggested I should get some essential oils. And I was like, oh yeah, like, I've been using essential oils my whole entire life. And I thought they smelled great, but none of them really did anything. They didn't, they didn't help my mental health, or they didn't help my skin, or they didn't help whatever. Like they just smelled good, or maybe they helped to sleep, but they didn't really do anything. So then when I got these oils in, I was like, wow, these are amazing. And I started to use them for various health issues in our home, or with myself, or with the boys, or something like that. And then I learned about frankincense that was in the oil, and they were like, well, that's like a neurological oil. And I wasn't told that. I looked it up and found out all this information, and then I started taking it for my mental health, and I was like, this is how it feels to be normal. Now, I'd actually been feeling pretty bad a lot of my whole entire life, but I just thought everybody felt like crap. Like I literally walked around, carrying unhappiness with me. And I was deeply, looking back, I was deeply unhappy as a child, and really, really sad, and just, faking it till I made it, because I was just struggling street. But then I got the frankincense, and I was like, wow. So it was like it recalibrated my brain. Now it wasn't like because I had this my whole entire life. So I was like, was I 40 something then maybe? So it took a long time for me to get myself feeling good. Like I would have huge panic attacks my whole entire life. And it wasn't until I had frankincense, and then I used copaiba and another one, Serenity Blend. Like if I have to come on here or do anything, like I would never been able to do that. I would have been beside myself. But with the support of these oils, I've been able to do that. So like that just blows me away. So, and there's no side effects. There's side benefits. Like the frankincense supports my immune system. It supports my skin. It supports my cellular health. It does all kinds of other stuff. Like it actually makes me feel unified. Like I definitely felt like I was in pieces my whole entire life, because I had to I can't even think of the word now.
Compartmentalize. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I had to do that with my life. Yeah, sorry about that one. But I had to do that with my life just to get through for my home life, because it was, it was kind of very disruptive, and, things I'd even done to myself, people I chose to fall in love with or be friends with or whatever else. I was just a mess. I didn't realize I was a mess. But when I moved here, I was able to put all those pieces back together. And being in nature and being, away from my home, I guess you can kind of reinvent yourself when you move into a new country as well. Not that I needed to, but I had that opportunity to become my whole self again. So the oils for me were just an absolute key that unlocked everything for me. So now I'm able to fulfill my purpose in life. And to do really good things in life. But before I just couldn't have. I was just a mess, and I didn't know I was a mess. I was just on struggle street my whole time. But so the oils really, really helped me. It's definitely frankincense just put my brain back together.
Yeah. Maybe just talk a little bit more about frankincense, because I think what you're describing, firstly, Nadine, is probably the journey or the story of every human being, that for whatever everybody grows up in, I don't know what the word is, probably having to compartmentalize just from the nature of our families, who come from parents, who come from parents, who come from parents, who are all carrying, the human wounds and things that happen to us. And as a result, to survive, we do. And I think we're always seen as successful if you're able to show up almost and not be fake. I don't think people genuinely maybe intend that, but if put on the mask, I suppose, isn't it? And it's almost a sign of, aren't we great? Even though horrendous stuff has gone on, they showed up and they put on a brave face. And I've had that experience with someone I was talking to about it recently, and I went, no, I don't think that's the way we're meant to live. So what you're describing that is the authenticity. It's the true expression of who you are, isn't it? And I think it's so beautiful how you describe it, that it seems to be breaking. It sounds like frankincense, maybe. I don't know if it's particularly frankincense or it's all of nature, is breaking down those internal artificial compartments that are not part of who we are. It sounds like it's bringing you back more to your original nature. That's what I feel about them as well, using them. Is that what you like? In terms of what you know about frankincense, I know that it's the king of all of the oils, and it amplifies what everything else. Is there a little bit more you can say about frankincense and its origins, or how it has that name, the king of all oils?
Yeah. Well, it's been used for centuries. You know, the Egyptians used it. It's been around for thousands and thousands of years. So it was the original medicine, in my opinion. Well, that's exactly what it is. So for me, it's that the king. It's known as the king of oils because of its benefits. Because you know, it can, as I think I mentioned a minute ago, it was like it's an anti-inflammatory. It's an immune support system. You can use it for meditation. You can use it for your mental health, your cellular health, skin care. So that one oil can do so many things, but it also is, you know, the rebalancer, or it's a neurological oil. So it can support your brain in, you know, recalibrating it and rebalancing it and bringing it back together. And for me, like, frankincense is just unified. That's what it did to me. It put me back together. Like, and I would never have been able to. I never even knew that's what I needed to get done. I just knew that I had these feelings that didn't feel really good, and you know, this medication was not going to do anything for me. Like the side effects, if you read the side effects on the medication, or that, what, like, they can cause suicide. Like, what? What? So that's
Yeah.
just
Where do you go
beyond.
from there? Where do you go from there?
Yeah,
You know.
that's just mad to me. Like, this
Mm.
is available for you to help you, and I know I didn't go looking for it. It came to me. And it just came to me by mistake. I didn't go searching for it, and there it was. Like, it should have been. It should be told everywhere. We should know this. Now, it's not that it's just. Look, we're all unique and we're all different, and the oils work differently for other people and whatever. But I'm pretty sure, you know, that frankincense could definitely be an option for people to look at if somebody
Mm.
has mental health issues, or you feel anxious, or you feel overwhelmed. Like, my panic attacks were debilitating. Like, even to go for a coffee with friends sometimes, I would be so worked up. Like, just, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? Am I going to be awkward? Like, I'm an awkward person. I'm not, you know, I'm not your average person. So that's the kind of, like, the panic attacks that I would have. I'd even be at the kitchen thinking, we've got something on that weekend. I've got to be with these people. Blah blah blah. Now, that was me not living in my authenticity. I had to be with people who weren't really for me. But I, as me, just wanted to be liked by everybody. I want to be I want you to like me because I don't really like me, you know. So it's just like, that's what it was. I know that now, but the frankincense helped put me back together, so I can become the person I'm meant to be. So I'm not supposed to be this shell of a person walking around this planet. Like, I've got a service to do here. Like, I'm here to help people and cheerleader and support people. No, and it doesn't mean I'm the savior of everybody, but we're all here. We're all meant to be of service to each other. We're meant to be supporting each other. And I wouldn't have been able to do that before at all without the frankincense. I can go on about the frankincense forever, but that's
I
literally,
know. I know. No, it's just.
I'm owed to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I don't want to go on about it forever, but
No,
like,
I know. There's so much,
there's
but no,
lots of
it's.
pieces.
Sorry, yeah. But no, with
Yeah,
what you described there to me is just, you know, and this isn't just, I mean, it is about the oils because I love them too. I think it's about the purity, it's about nature. Like, all of
yeah,
this is coming back to, because what I didn't fully get, and I mean, it's all back to the purity, and we can talk about them. And it's not just, look, people will find their own way with
yeah,
what they're meant to use. But I think
exactly.
what we're both saying, or I'm definitely hearing from you, is a natural way of life in the long term is what, you know, is what we're designed for. And it's how we best, you know, expand and can be ourselves, because we are nature. We are, I don't know, I sometimes find myself saying, like, we're not synthetic as far as I know. Well,
No,
maybe we are, but you know what I
yeah.
mean? In our
Maybe some
truest
level
sense,
of it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And we're not charged by batteries. There is a greater creative essence flow, whatever you want to call it, that's in nature. Just look at a sunset, look at the leaves on the tree. You know, what makes your hair grow? What makes the leaves grow? You know, whatever is powering that is in us. I don't, you know, we know this. So anything that nature to me is then what is helps that be
yeah.
its true essence. So it's just amazing though what you describe about frankincense. So that was your introduction, obviously.
Oh,
You then
yeah, I had the
yeah.
oils, like, yeah, I had the oils for other reasons as well, and then, you know, something about my son's health, and then my digestion. Like, I had digestion issues, and then I did a protocol, and that really helped. So it wasn't like I just got the frankincense straight away. I did other things, and then I started to make my own beauty products as well, and not even because of the toxins that were in them. I was oblivious, but I was just like, I love being creative and I love doing stuff. And I was just like, the price of skincare is out of this world. So maybe I could make my own. So I started to make my own, and then I started making stuff for the house. And then I was like, started reading more about the oils and what they can do. And then I was like, oh my God, there's toxins in all of our, what? There's harsh chemicals in our home products. What? What? So that started to blow my mind as well. And then I was like, that can't be. How could they let that happen? It's like, yeah, no. So that was another veil as well. So that was another opening, another peeling off of the veil, I guess, is that these toxins that are in our home, they're a build up to us feeling like crap, literally. Like most people I know, I don't think everyone feels great. I don't think everyone feels good. I think everyone's walking around thinking, oh, here, this is just life. I'm not feeling good. No, we're not supposed to live like that. We're supposed to feel so good. So you've got these toxins, and they're like building blocks, I guess, on your shoulders, and they're just piling up, and your bit of deodorant, your bit of your aftershave, and your bit of laundry powder, and you're cleaning, especially for women, we have so many more chemicals than men. So they're all just piling up on your body, and then one day they'll just fall over and you'll fall over. So I think that most people, as I said, are walking around feeling like crap. And it's because of all the toxins that I discovered. And I was just like, whoa. So the frankincense had really helped my brain, but then just getting rid of these toxins in our home started to make me feel really good too. And then I just feel lighter and better, and my brain works better, and there's less symptoms. Like I used to have headaches all the time. I would take Panadol pretty much 3-4 times a day when I was feeling like crap prior. I also used to drink alcohol to help me sleep, which never really works. I don't know why I did that. So now I don't have to do that at all. So it's like all these toxins got rid of all these symptoms. Whether you've got eye irritations or skin irritations or whatever it is, you tend to find that a lot of the toxins in your cleaning products and stuff like that can be what the problem are. So it just depends. We're all different. All of us take, chemicals and differently within our bodies, so we're all unique. But that was another really big impact, is just getting rid of the toxins from our home and our life too. So my kids don't have, we haven't been sick in years. Like we've had a bit of a cough this week. I think everyone's got a bit of something at the moment. But my daughter has, with her cycle, she doesn't have any issues because she doesn't use all the stuff that I used to use, or the fragrance and the deodorants and from the shops and all that kind of stuff. Because a lot of the products in the shops, they're just full of toxins that are not great for our health at all. So a lot of the stuff in my home that happened as a kid with my hormone issues, or, my cycle period issues, that doesn't happen in my home anymore. And that's all from not having toxins in the home. So for me, that just speaks volumes. I'm living it, and I see it every day in my home. So I'm not just yabbering on about it because I've read it somewhere. We actually live it every day. We can't get rid of all the toxins that are around us. So, and I want to do it in a nice balanced manner. I don't want to be too toxic myself. I don't want to freak my kids out, or we can't use that, or don't drink the tap water, or whatever.
Yeah.
We just try to do it in a nice, normal manner without freaking ourselves out or scaring anybody else in that matter as well.
Yeah. But the other side of when you're saying that is just proves to me how powerful and intelligent and strong and resilient our bodies are, because this has been gradually building up, like through being on this planet. It's been slow. It's not like, as you said, you take one thing and you're going to die, but it's this, it's this lack of, to me, what you're describing is this nearly and I've felt I'm getting better the more I'm shifting my life, but that sort of lack of vitality and life force. Like as you described, you go out and you look at nature and it's just like, it's so alive. And I can remember at times being out going, what is this? Like one foot in front of the other going, this can't be life. So there's a vitality, I think, that is, because we've never known it, we don't know. We're missing it until, like you describe, isn't it? You go back to childhood in Australia, and as difficult as it was, there was still something in you that realized through your connection with nature, whoa, there's something more here. So it is, isn't it? It's a gradual build-up that happens throughout our lives. Yeah.
It's a toxic load build up. And as you said, for me, it was like I felt like I was just dragging myself through life. And I was thinking, are we all doing this? And I just used to I remember I used to look around and think, this can't be it. There has to be more than this. We can't just be all dragging our asses around here, can we? There has to be more. Sorry, I'm not probably supposed to swear.
No, that's brilliant. That needs to be on a t-shirt. You'll have to start making t-shirts. It is. It could be on a t-shirt. That's brilliant. Or maybe title of a book.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
that.
maybe,
Oh,
yeah. Absolutely
yeah.
great idea.
Yeah. Can't be just
But it
dragging
is,
our
it's like
asses
a
around.
build up of just feeling awful. And I was like, we just can't. And I look at people and I'm like, what are you doing? You can't be sitting
Mm.
around just doing nothing. Wish, like, life is so beautiful. And there's so many gorgeous, amazing people out there. And like, they're just in abundance. When you go looking for them, and what you choose to see is what you will find. So if you're going to think, oh, I just feel like crap and everything is crap and the world's mad, and like that's, you're just going to get more of that. So that's when the toxins, when my brain was put back together, you know, the pieces of me that will be broken were put back together through the frankincense and then getting the toxins. Like I had that lift, to have that spring back in my step, and I just feel better. And the way my brain works, I don't wake up in the morning going, oh Jesus, another bloody day. Like I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to live today. Who am I going to speak to today? Who am I going to meet today? Who am I going to smile at today? Who am I going to share at? You know, it's just
Mm.
that, such a better way of living. And I didn't do it on purpose. It just happened to land in front of me. And then I made the most of what was in front of me and realized that, okay, there's these tools here that I can really do. I can really help myself with. And I don't want to be living the life like everybody else. I used to say to my husband all the time, I want extraordinary. I don't want ordinary. I don't want to be
Oh, I
like
love
everybody
that.
else. Everybody else looks miserable. And it's no judgment, but it's just what I was seeing. And it's exactly how I felt. Like I remember being with people and thinking, really? Like, is this adulthood? No, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not living like this at all. So it's hard because a lot of people don't get it. They don't understand what you're talking about, or you know, they're thinking she's nuts. But I'll
I
never
always
stop
think that's a good
communicating.
sign. Yeah, because somebody has to. But you know what it feels like when you describe that, and I sort of feel that myself. It's, you know, all we talk about, all these toxins. So there's toxins mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and nearly like these veils. So whatever, like for you, whatever was the trigger for them to start to come off. Cancer was it for me? For someone else, it'll be something else. And don't they
Yeah,
start to come off, and then you start to feel again, because I was numbed through alcohol, work, shopping, any distraction, Netflix. And I understand it. It's always, I find it's at the core for most of us. We all have, as a human, a lot of pain and stuff we
yes,
carry, and we're afraid to go there. But it's, and so the toxins build up and we feel nothing. So then, as
yes.
you, was this part of it for you as well? Because I'm just interested for someone who's listening and maybe in a challenging time right now, and it's difficult when you're there. But as you started to peel back the layers and start to feel, it's like nearly, is it those veils or those that what you maybe
Yeah,
were seeing before starts to, you see it differently. I don't know what other words to put,
yeah.
but something else takes over.
It just
So
changes. It
doesn't it
reinvents.
naturally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like when you, I always say to people, you know, when I communicate and do classes about low tox living, people think, oh, it's just so hard. It's not hard
Mm,
at all. You just swap one product at a time. And then
mm,
they say, I think they say like 28 days, those toxins will leave your body. I think it's in 28 days or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But when you start doing, you swap one product a month, and then that toxins have been in your body. That's probably why you feel crap. I'm not
mm.
saying that's the answer. It's a
Yeah.
possibility,
But it's
you
part of
know.
it probably, I suppose. There's so,
Yeah,
yeah, it's part of the, yeah,
exactly. So when you
yeah.
take off one, like the laundry powder, swap your laundry powder. That's what I say to people straight away, because you're sleeping on it, you're wearing it, it's on your body, it's your underwear, it's everything. So swap that out straight away. It's not complicated. I use bicarb
Just give us
soda.
one example. Yeah, I was going to say, give one example here because it's good. I mean, people can find, you know, and I'll give all your links at the end, but just
Yeah,
as an example here, what then would you
yeah.
suggest, say,
Well,
for
I keep it
laundry?
really simple. Yeah, well, there's a lot of people who do, like, they do the citric acid. I'm like, I don't do any of it. I just do bicarb soda, and I put in my lemon oil, essential oil if there's particularly anything grimy, and then I use white vinegar, and I put half water with that, 50-50. That's our softener. So bicarb soda is our laundry powder, and our laundry softener is 50-50 of vinegar and water and lemon oil. And that's it. Now, if you've got particular stains, there's something, I can give you a recipe for that, but don't worry about it. Just start just one product once a month. And then in 6 months' time, I always said this, you'll look back and you'll be amazed. And I'm
Mm.
telling you, I used to have the headaches. I don't have headaches anymore. I used to have struggle with sleep. I don't struggle with sleep anymore. My brain works better. because of the frankincense, but just generally because there's no toxins. So the toxins also disrupt your hormones. So I used to have terrible, terrible cycles every month. When I was a child, I used to have a week off school often. I would have lots and lots of pain, lots of loss. I don't want to have too much detail, but so that all went away when I got rid of the toxins. So it's not you, it's the toxins that are around you. Now, that's not the answer for everybody. I'm not saying that, but it's, if you try it, I swear things will really change for you. I think that's a really great, when you get rid of the toxins, your brain works better, your body works better. You don't have all these symptoms. You don't have all these, autoimmune diseases, all kinds of things that are showing up everywhere. Everybody isn't well. And everyone just thinks, oh, it's just a little bit. But it's a little bit every day, all day long for their whole entire life.
Yeah. But like what you described earlier, it's the masking. So it can be the masking personally going out and pretending you're good when you're not good or whatever, but also masking what's the root cause. Like even you describing, say, your cycle and what it was like. There was obviously, as you said, your childhood was difficult. There could have been many factors that feed in as a child were affected by so much. Because that's how we're
Yes.
designed to be. Isn't it? That's the key. To me, it's the key. We're designed to feel it all, but also to let it out through us, but we're
Yes.
told not to. So then it's all suppressed. The mask has to come on to contain all of this. And then the toxins, the whole thing just, it's like a big barrier. So what you're describing is like the oils as one example, or nature come in and go, no, 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 this is what's going on really here. And this is what we need to regulate. And with that, have you found as well? So I know you do all the low tox, and I've started since I got the oils, and it's such a joy anyways. I find, like, I don't know, I've put up a few things that I've made, but I'm like making my own shower. Like I'm looking at it every day going, I made that. Like I feel
I
like I've
know.
gone back to be the child I was meant to be. And then I go, oh, and I made body oil and I've made a perfume and I've made, it's just, and I'm doing it now, yeah, more, let's say, regularly. So it's a beautiful feeling doing that, because we're designed to create and make as humans anyways. We're not designed to consume, we're designed to create. That's who we're meant to be. I
Exactly.
feel
Oh my
not,
God, that's amazing.
isn't
That
it?
is
We're
such the
not,
best thing I've ever heard.
yeah, we're
Absolutely.
not consumers, we're creators, but we've been
Yes.
molded into being
Yes.
consumers. So no wonder we're all so depressed. That's my feeling on it. So when I hear you saying the creativity that comes as well from the oils, as well as,
Yeah.
the
It's so
top,
fun.
it's bringing out that
Yeah.
human essence. Can I ask you as well, though, as well as, okay, and all the low tox that you do, which is phenomenal, and I've seen it and witnessed it in you, so I know it's real. That's what I think, yeah, you have to live it. Is also then the maybe emotional layers that come up. Did you find or is it just very naturally and gently happened for you that, as a lot of the stuff that you were saying, you were having panic attacks and they could have been, dysregulation. Did things start to come up that you needed to deal with, or are the oils not helping you? I mean,
Of course.
of course, I know we're human, but have the oils been part of that, or how have you managed that? Because I think that's for everyone. When you come out of the life that has kept everything like really tight, of course stuff is going to come out. We're energy; it's just going to explode out sometimes. So how
Yeah.
did you?
So I think,
Yeah.
well, I think when you, like with toxin free living and having the doTerra essential oils, is that, you're getting rid of the toxins because they're also pushing a lot of the stuff. For me, I believe they were pushing a lot of the stuff down. So when you start to live naturally, everything starts to come up that you have been pushing down for years and years and decades. So some people just fly through life and have no problem, so they're fine. But then there's rest of us that are very deep and very empathetic, and we feel everything, and we've dragged everything with us from our childhood and everything that happened with that boy and that friend and that work and whatever. So everything did come up, but the oils really helped me because I talk about toxin free living a lot on my social media, my Instagram, but I don't really talk too much about the emotional part of it, because we're all so different and it kind of feels a little bit personal, and I'm not quite ready to talk about all that stuff, although I am here, but there's a big level of it. So frankincense is really great for your cognitive function and your memory support. So I used to think, oh great, I'll actually have, I'll be able to walk into a room and go, what did I come in that room for? I'll actually remember. But it actually brings back a lot of memories from the past as well. So they'll show up. And I'm like, but then I've also learned through the time is just to look at them and see them, but I don't dive into them and go, oh, what happened there? And then he said that, and she said, like, I don't do that. I just go, oh wow, and then I take the lesson that I feel like, yeah, okay, I need to do better with those people or whatever, boundaries or whatever. So it's like there's lots of different things that show up, and then the frankincense also helps the mood as well, and same with the balance essential oil. It just helps your mood and helps you ground as well, and helps the stress reduction. So the oils helped me through like everything: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, everything. So they're great for my mental health, but they're also great for low tox living, but they're also great to support my mood, or if I'm feeling a bit low, or if I feel a bit too up and all that kind of stuff. So they're able to really support me and everything. But like when I'm talking about essential oils, I'm not just talking about any essential oils. Like, we probably even talked about doTerra, but
Yeah.
they're pure. You have to have pure
Yeah, let's talk
quality
about
essential
those,
oils.
because yeah, that's a big, for me, that's been, and I think I said it to you as well. It wasn't just how they smelt. I keep saying it's how I felt and how I feel. So the body's intelligence. Yeah, maybe just to talk about the purity, because
Yeah,
and this, because we're both speaking from experience. I
yeah,
only share what authentically I feel. I'm not out to sort of talk about things or promote things that have nothing to do with me. This is really,
yes,
all of this is about helping people make healthy choices for themselves, really. And what really has struck me, I was the same. I've always dabbled in a lot of things and a lot of oils, and I just felt it. So maybe can you just talk about that whole area of regulation and the purity of the oils? Because I think it comes up a lot for people. Like, what's so
yes.
different? Why are they better with
Yeah,
doTERRA?
exactly. Well,
Yeah.
we're not here, rattling on about doTerra essential oils for profit. We're here because we actually have experience with them and we both love them. Like you love them, you got them, you've had them for a year now, and you're just really starting to love them. So I've had
Mm,
them for
yeah.
6 years, and I really like, they're in my life every day. They're integrated in my life. Like I drink my lemon water, I use my peppermint to lift my mood, or to kind of clear the cobwebs from my head, or whatever I use them for, lavender for sleep, whatever. But it does, like as I said, I've used essential oils my whole entire life, and they just smelt lovely. But that was all. They didn't do anything for my emotions or my mental health or my physical benefits or anything. But these oils do, because they're pure and they're quality, and they do lots of testing. So it's really important that when you buy essential oils, that you buy it from like a wellness advocate, somebody that you actually can go to and ask and get support from. If you buy it from a shop, the lady in the shop doesn't really know anything about them. So you get wherever you want to get your oils from, but just don't waste your money. Just reach out to somebody who you know is one of the world's best. Even do research online. Like, I'm not saying buy doTerra, just do your own research. Don't take
Mhm.
what I'm saying for gospel. You get to do
That's
whatever
the
you want to
point.
do. So
Yeah,
jump
yeah, yeah.
online and look for the world's best, and you may get a selection, or you may just get doTerra or whatever. Jump and then do your own research. Now, on the bottom of each bottle, there's a code of each bottle of doTerra essential oil, and you can type it into the website called Source to You.
Oh,
Yeah, there it
wonderful.
is. There,
Yeah, I think there is. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but anyways, yeah.
yeah, there
Oh
you
yeah,
go.
you one there. Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I'm
no,
used
that's
to it.
that really
I've done this
good.
before.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. Very good. Yeah, I'm like,
So you
oh,
just
where's the
type that number
camera?
in. You'll know for next time. Don't worry.
Yes,
Where's
yes.
your camera?
Not on,
I know it's
not
hard.
on the roof. It's
But
not
you
on the
type
roof.
that number. I know. God love us.
Yeah.
So you type that number into the Source to You website, and it will tell you the batch and all the testing that it's done. So that's really important. And also, doTerra don't do organic. They don't write organic on everything, because organic, um, there's a fee to pay for that, and there's still chemicals that can be used in organic. So,
Okay.
like that's worldwide. That's with everything.
Yeah.
they've got their
Yeah.
fingers in everything. So that label organic is, for me, it's meaningless. You even see it on,
Mm,
your tin food in the supermarket, dolphin free. Somebody paid for that sticker. It's not even a real thing. So
mm.
it's like they don't do organic. They're certified therapeutic grade essential oils. So there's nothing added to them, nothing taken of them, and they do their own testing, and they do third party testing. So that's why as I said, do your own research. If you want to use essential oils, don't be buying it from any shop. You get a person who's certified, knows exactly what they're talking about, has their own personal experience with these oils themselves, and at least they're there, your support, so you can go to them while you're using the oils and say, how do I use them safely? And then you get to use them confidently in your own home. And that's another thing I love about the essential oils, is that I get to use them in my home and be empowered. Like, I don't have to go out anywhere else and say to somebody, what do I do with this? I get to do it in my home. I don't have to worry about going to the chemist in the morning if somebody's sick overnight or whatever. I know the oils are there, I know how to use them, and I can use them safely for myself and help me and my family.
Yeah. And can you just describe what really struck me as well as how they're basically, I don't even know how to use the right words here now, but isn't it a distillation process that takes them out of like the bark, the leaves, like they're directly, it's until you really, I don't know, there's something about it when I don't know what oil I was using, and I was going, this is straight from the essence of the plant. Like we were talking at the beginning about, it's so funny when you describe, it's like it is going full circle, because we're
Yeah,
born completely natural, and then we go into this sort of synthetic world. And it's not, this is the world we're in, and it's got a lot of beauty,
yeah,
beautiful as well. But it's just like then you're describing nearly you're finding your way back. I never had made that complete connection that they are completely nature. Like
yeah,
that's
yeah. So
that is what they are. That
exactly,
intelligence
yeah,
is in them, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. And like the nature is so intelligent. As yourself, like we've got chickens up the back and we moved them to a new area, and was up there this morning, and the whole area, it was just mud and nothing. And I said to my husband, nothing is ever going to grow back here again. And you should see the growth in 6 months. I don't know how anything could ever possibly grow in there, but it's just all flourishing. So nature knows exactly what to do. Like if you look at outside and you see your tree and you think, Jesus, it's freezing cold out there. How is that tree going to make it through summer? But it does. It knows exactly what to do. It has its own defenses. So those oils that we've got, they are steam distilled out of the plant, and those defenses come out of that into that oil. So you can get the citrus oils, I think, are cold pressed, but they're steam distilled. So that intelligence comes with it into our bottle that we get to use and we get to smell every day. And that just blows my mind. How I don't even understand that. Like my brain doesn't work that way to understand that stuff. I like to feel and see and smell how it's all done. I'm like, I don't really I can see it and I understand it, but I'm not that into it. But I just love to get the oils and think that smells like, that's exactly wild orange. Like I can smell synthetics now. Like it's like when I go
Yes.
down the shopping aisle, I can smell the chemicals. I'm like, oh. But when I smell wild orange or the lemon or the peppermint, it's like, it's the most, it feels like I actually have the peppermint plant in my hand. Well, technically I do. But yeah, really, really powerful.
It is, your body comes alive. I think that brings me back to that. Your body just comes alive. And again, like just for listeners and Dee saying this, I don't want this to be do your own research and all this stuff. Like I'm big into sharing. I'm big into sovereignty, health sovereignty, personal sovereignty, empowerment, that we are all equipped to live the
Yeah,
life that we're meant to live naturally and express who we are naturally and support each other. And that should be that is our birthright. I think that we're sort of reclaiming, because we have believed it isn't. And the empowerment, as you said, just even myself, like pottering around, I feel like I think I might have been some woman in the woods in a previous life, a little witch with her little cauldron, because I'm never happier than like a little stirring up a little pot and going, oh, look at this. It's just, it's, I think a part of it that you forget, and only that you said you're so creative, that it brings that alive. And what I am sensing as well when you're describing all of this, and it is a process and it'll happen differently. I know, yeah, this is the other thing I wanted to ask you on this, is that we are so used to in life this quick fix, I suppose, gratification that we're all been conditioned to. And like you said, when you were having the panic attacks and take a pill, and I'm not saying all pills are bad and, we need them at
yeah,
times, but I suppose that's the shift, isn't it? We're moving in, if you're moving into a more natural way, things have a harmony like nature. We don't just say we want summer. Here you go. Here it is. On,
go through the process.
there is a process and an intelligence. So maybe just talk a little bit about that for anyone who maybe starts to use oils and is going, well, my cold is still here or whatever.
Yeah.
How would you describe how they work?
I think that they were, as we mentioned, well, they're nature. So nature
Yeah.
is slow and patient. So it's like, with the winter and the seasons, you're not going to you're not going to get the lesson straight away unless there's a process of elimination, right? So it's like, the leaves have to fall off the tree for winter and for the roots to be able to know what they've got to do, and then they grow back. Like, it's just a big cycle, isn't it? So I think that's the same with the oils. So, with me, when I started with the oils, and then, things started to come up because it was lifting off, all these layers of illusion and stuff. So there's like, oh, that's coming up for me now. All right, now I've got to deal with that. So it's all these little things that are just peeling away to help me become and grow the person that I'm meant to be. So I think it works that way. It's just a nice, lovely, slow, gentle process. It's not gonna freak you out, nothing fast. Like, I always think, whatever nature is doing, just look outside and attune with that. Because if you're getting, not that I'm saying anything's wrong with medication, but if you're getting a pill and here fix this, there's always a side effect, because things aren't meant to happen fast. They're meant to happen slowly and gently. That's nature. So for me, that's exactly what the oils do. Now, if you have oregano and you're taking that internally to get rid of a cold, you may need to take it 3 or 4 times throughout that day, or just a couple of days to knock the cold off, because it's going to go. Those oils are going to go into your body and hit exactly where they need to go. Like your nature, the oils of nature, they work together in harmony. So that's going to knock off anything within your body. If there's any bacterial, or whatever, antifungal or a virus or something in your body, it'll knock it off slowly. So if you woke up and you're thinking, I don't feel so great, but I've got to go out tonight for that dinner, I better take some oregano. You could perfectly be fine that afternoon, but maybe you've left a little bit longer, and you're thinking, I wasn't really feeling great the other day either. Yeah, no, maybe I should take it. Then maybe it's going to take a little bit longer to get rid of that cold, that bug or whatever, because it's nice and gentle and slow. It's not going to slap you in the face and give you a quick recovery. It's going to be nice and slow. And that's nature, isn't it? Everything is that happens is good, is lovely, and then in due time. It's like any lessons in life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice
And I think we're returning to it, but it does take, as you said, peeling back the layers, like in a world that's telling you. But I think many people are seeing this idea of speed and doing more and producing more. To what end? Like, I was like you at one, and it was before I was diagnosed with cancer and before I had a car accident. And I used to drive a lot for work going, is this it? Is this it? Sitting in traffic until I retire. And maybe it came to me differently. I didn't, not for that reason. I didn't have a family and I didn't have children. So I'm not saying that could prolong, but that's a beautiful thing to be in. So that obviously takes your energy, but I didn't have that. So it was coming up quicker, like not quicker, took me a long time, but the same thing, something in you, I think. And I suppose maybe a lesson from this, what I'm hearing, and I'd be interested before we wrap up, is it's describing what you're describing to me is, and it's been my journey, is going from living from the outside in to living from the inside out. And when you start to do that, you will start to notice, it's really important, the signals that your body is giving. Like, you had to get panic attacks, we would hope in an ideal world, like you said, slow and listening to nature, that something that earlier was maybe coming towards the panic attack, might have been, I'm not saying this in blame, I'm saying this is in the world I live. I was the exact same. I had loads of things like bang, 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 but we don't know. And I think it takes more of us. This is why I'm really passionate about these conversations, because until more of us start saying no to that, the world doesn't change. We can say, and I've often said, but it's very difficult in the system, and we're being told you have to do this, this, this to succeed. But if more of us choose something differently, that's when it becomes an option, doesn't it? Like, you're living it. Doesn't mean it's easy. It hasn't been easy for me since cancer. I've had to try and find a new way to be in the world. And it's opposite almost what I'm being told from the outside.
But I think a lot of us are doing the hard yards now. Like, we're making it maybe easier for those to come down the path. I'm not saying that we're trailblazers or anything, because I'm sure there's been loads of people who've been doing it.
Well, there always has to be, and then someone picks up and it's like the relay race. And if you're handed the baton, I suppose, you take it and you hand it to the next.
Like a tumbleweed, I guess. Yeah, exactly. And we're all just doing it together. But I think that's the whole thing, is that we're all so separate. We're all so busy, and no one even knows who the neighbor is sometimes. Like, it's all just fast, furious, and on this cycle of life and this whole system is just not great for us. It's not working for us. But I do believe in the future is bright and happy and healthy, but we're in a shift and we're moving forward. And there's people like us who are just starting to let go of, we're letting go of all the crap that we've brought with us. All this hardworking
Being
life.
bashed over the head about 5 times with the plank.
I know. I was definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I always say, that life will throw little pebbles at you to get you the hint, but then they'll throw the bloody brick at you. You're not getting it, so they'll just throw it. And that's what was happening for me, like with the panic attacks. I was miserable for a very long time. And I remember one of the boys at my reunion said to me, "You were so angry in high school." And I was like, yeah, I had shit going on in my home. Like, but it was like, but I didn't see myself as that, you know what I mean? It was just like, I was just in the struggle street. So like, we've all got pain, we've all been through crap, and I'm not saying, it's easy. It's not hard. It's definitely not easy, but I've just chosen, I'm just not going to pitch my tent in that anymore. I want more for myself. I want a better life, and I want to live an extraordinary life. And I've got 3 children that look up to me, and I want to show them, this is how you live. That's not great. This is much better for you. So I think that's really important. But I think that there is a big movement. Everybody's going back to basics. So many people I've spoken to have saying that they've said to their friends or their family, let's not buy gifts this year. Let's just get together and have time together. Or let's not do another meal. Let's just bring our leftovers from Christmas Day. So that's just not the few of us. That's a lot more people this year than last year. So now it's just going to build the momentum of moving forward. And, I'm not saying everyone needs to get oils in their life, but I love that there's this big change happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is happening. It's just not being blurted out from our TVs or the radio.
No.
It's just quietly happening within all of us. And before you know it, it'll just be the normal.
Yeah, that's so beautiful how you say that. It does feel like that I keep saying that, particularly with each guest, because I'm meeting more and more women like you and men, because I'll be interviewing more men. It's like this little, it's like it's been held or something, like there's like this net or this foundation being built really gently, quietly underneath. And as the old falls away, there has to be something there. If you just stripped everything away now in the world, like it has to happen this way, doesn't it? It's sort of
nature.
That is nature.
Oils.
Yeah,
it has to happen slowly. It cannot happen quickly. Anything I do in a hurry always turns to crap. Like everything I take my time with, it's like baking or cooking or doing my garden. It all just takes time, and then you get the reward at the end of it. But there's lessons to learn and go through. So, we can't all say, right, we're not paying taxes anymore. We're not paying insurance anymore. We're not paying for our cars anymore. Like it just can't do that. It all just happens slowly, because everybody would be freaking out. We're all not in agreement with how to live life. Like your way of living or my neighbor's way of living doesn't really work with me. So we can't be pushing, or this whole change can't be pushed upon us. We have to take it step by step, and that's nature. That's exactly what nature is.
Know.
That's exactly what oils are.
Yeah, thank you. That's such a beautiful way nearly to end. I think I won't go off on another topic, because that is just sums it up perfectly.
But we
could. I know, I'm tempted to go, nope, stop.
That was amazing. That was
slow and meandering. That's what I do. Yeah. No, that's so beautiful. Back to nature. Okay, we'll just say firstly, I'm going to say to everybody listening, anyone who wants to connect with Nadine and know more about the oils or low tox living, or just connect with her energy, it's beautiful and so authentic and real. That's why you're here in Ireland. I know that for sure. To really see that, and there's something in the healing of the family line, and that's, I think, what I feel when I moved somewhere and I feel to go, I just go, because you don't know why you're meant to be there. Your presence, your energy, your frequency is what really shifts things, isn't it? From the inside out. So anyone who wants, I'm going to put all of Nadine's, Instagram is probably your main place, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't do Facebook really. I'm there, but I just focus on the one Instagram.
No, there's a beautiful, you can feel it. So I'm going to put all those links there, and anyone who wants to ask questions or find out more can reach out to Nadine. You can reach out to me. I'm on the team, but I'm a junior member, but I'm loving my journey. So it's like, reach out to reach out to either of us, but I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
Nadine is just a wealth of information and support. And that's why I'm not embarrassed. I don't feel like I'm doing a big sales plug. It's why I am so, so loving being part of this doTerra community because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling this is part of the wave of, what really strikes me as well is because there is that sort of structure or community built worldwide. It's like, why reinvent the wheel with everything? If there is a system that we feel aligned to, like your align
Yeah.
oils, and can
Yeah.
allow us sort of, I wouldn't, yeah, spread this more and share these opportunities with people, all the better, isn't it?
And we can bring
It's
our own flavor to the oils
yeah,
as well. That's what I say
yeah,
to anyone who joins within our community is this, that you don't have to do it my way, or you do get to do it your way, because we all have different people who needs different stuff from us. Somebody may not be interested in toxin free living, but somebody may be interested in feeling more energized, or
mm,
whatever it
mm,
is. So it's
yeah,
like a
yeah,
nice little community of just like, you get to do it your way, you get to drive your own ship, and we all, as we said before, the rising tide
tide.
lifts all boats.
Yes, I
So we
like
just
that. I
support
heard
each other
someone
and
say,
cheer each
yeah,
other on. Yeah, and
yeah,
trumpet
yeah,
each other
yeah.
along the way and celebrate the wins, and support you when you feel, if you're not feeling, feeling a bit down or a bit uninspired. So that's what
Yeah.
I just think. I want to create a community that I want to have in life for everybody.
Mhm. Well,
Support
perfect.
everybody.
So, yeah, yeah. So do reach out and to Nadine, I said all of the links will be here in the description box and the show notes. It'll be out on YouTube, Spotify, Substack, well, when you're listening or watching. And thank you. Thank you so much, Nadine. It's been
Thank you. Thank you
such
for
a
having me.
pleasure, and I've learned so much. And thank you, everyone, for listening. I just know everybody, yeah, it's just been so inspiring. We need you here in Ireland. We need you here on the west coast of
I'm
Ireland.
here. I ain't going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. Thank you, everyone. Until the next episode, take care. Take care. Bye for
Thanks,
now.
Elaine.
Thank you. Thanks, Nadine.